Hey guys, Santa Claus here with another set of NFL predictions. This time it's week 13. So there's only 13 games this week as there are 6 teams going on a bye. Chicago, Minnesota, Buffalo, Baltimore, Las Vegas, and the New York Giants. So those teams will not play this week, but we'll get through the week 13 predictions here in a minute here. So, the Seattle Seahawks take on the Dallas Cowboys tonight, and I'm gonna pick the Cowboys over the Seahawks. They'll be 9-3. The Seahawks will be 6-6. I don't really see them going. I don't really see them going to the playoffs just because they might get that number 7 seed, but nobody's clinched a playoff spot. Not even the Eagles. So probably because the NFC is so top heavy. Well, the NFC is really not that top heavy. It's just a lot of mediocre teams at the moment. So we'll see by the end of the season who's going to the playoffs. Hopefully, if the Eagles end up winning against the 49ers, they probably will clinch a playoff spot. But this will put the Cowboys at 9-3. This will be their third winning season in a row. So they just put on a pretty good game against Washington on Thanksgiving. So yeah, I'm going to go with Dallas. The Indianapolis Colts take on the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go with the Colts here. This will put them at 7-5. The Titans will be 4-8. Despite the Titans beating the, I forget who they beat, but I think it was one of those bad teams. I think the Panthers. Oh yeah, they beat the Panthers. Never mind, they beat the Panthers. So this will put them at 4-8, and the Colts I think will be 7-5. Coming up. And yeah, I'm gonna pick the Titans over the Colts. The Colts over the Titans. The Atlanta Falcons take on the New York Jets. I'm actually gonna go with the Falcons. I'm not picking the Jets anytime soon, only because even though they opened the 21-day practice window for Aaron Rodgers, it's not really going to do much of an impact. So I think the Jets will be 4-8, and the Falcons, they will be 6-6. And I hope that one of those teams in the NFC South wins the division. So no matter how bad they are. So if the Falcons win the division, Arthur Smith is staying, but I don't really want him to stay. So, and as for the Jets, they're not really that good this year. So I'm going to go with the Falcons. The Detroit Lions take on the New Orleans Saints. I am actually going to go with the Lions. Even though they lost on Thanksgiving, they'll bounce back. They'll be 9-3, and the Saints will be 5-7. So if the Saints lose and the Falcons win, they'll have the sole possession of that first place spot in the NFC South. And for the Lions, I don't think they'll clinch the division right away because they'll be 9-3. They'll clinch a winning season, of course, but the Saints. These next 6 weeks are going to be crucial. Weeks 13 through 18 are going to be crucial for the playoff picture. So, but I am picking the Lions over the Saints. The Lions will be 9-3, and the Saints will be 5-7. The Denver Broncos take on the Houston Texans. I am going to go with the Texans. I'm not really a fan of the Broncos. And even though they've won 6 straight, I believe. No, 5 straight games. They beat the Cleveland Browns pretty heavily. But I think the Texans will beat the Broncos here. This will put the Texans at 7-5, and the Broncos, they will be 6-6. So hopefully they don't snatch the division from us here. So, the Chiefs. So, I'm going to go with the Texans over the Broncos here. They'll be 7-5, and the Broncos, they will be 6-6. The Los Angeles Chargers take on the New England Patriots. I am going to go with the Chargers. Even though they're not really that good, I think they'll be 5-7, and the Patriots will be 2-10, hopefully eliminated in the playoff picture. So, I think it takes 10 losses to be eliminated, but I'm not really sure exactly. But I am going with the Chargers. They'll be 5-7. The Patriots will be 2-10. The Patriots kind of suck this year, so yeah. I think this is their worst start to the season since 2000. So they're not heading in the right direction, especially with their QB situation, and they just have a bad team around them. They just lost to the Giants, by the way. So they lost to the Giants by 3 again. Speaking of which, another Super Bowl rematch, the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm actually going with the Steelers here. This will put the Steelers at 8-4, and the Cardinals at 2-11. This is probably will be eliminated from the playoffs after this week if they lose. So they're just not that good this year. They're purposely not good. So I'm gonna go with the Steelers. They'll be 8-4, and the Cardinals will be 2-11. So the Cardinals are one of the only 2 teams left without a bye week, and the other one is the Commanders. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going with the Steelers over the Cardinals. Just like in the Super Bowl. Another Super Bowl rematch. Because I remember the Dolphins played the Redskins at one point in the Super Bowl. But the Miami Dolphins are taking on the Washington Commanders. I'm picking the Dolphins. They will be 9-3. They're currently 8-3 so far, so they're going to be 9-3. And the Commanders, they will be 4-9, so they'll clinch a losing season here. They're on the brink of clinching a losing season, so I doubt they'll be eliminated right now, but I think a couple teams could be eliminated with losses this week. The Panthers and the Cardinals and possibly the Patriots. So, I think they could mathematically be eliminated from the playoffs. So, probably because of how bad the NFC South is. They probably won't, but at the same time, we'll just see. But I am going with the Dolphins over the Commanders. They will be 9-3, and the Commanders will be 4-9. The Carolina Panthers take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am going to go with the Buccaneers here. The Bucs really aren't that good. Neither are the Panthers, but if the Panthers lose, they'll probably be eliminated from the playoffs. They really deserve it at this point. They're not really a good team. I don't even know who their interim head coach is. They just fired Frank Reich, so I think David Tepper did the right thing. by firing his head coach, but it's not really gonna really do the Panthers that much justice. This is the second time they've fired a coach mid-season in a row, actually, because 2022 they fired Matt Rule. And then they fired Frank Reich, and he's not really that good of a coach, so he's just not really doing good as head. Well, I don't think he's going to get a head coaching job anytime soon. They shouldn't have hired him to begin with, but I am going with the Bucks over the Panthers. That would put them at 5-7, and the Panthers at 1-11, possibly eliminated from the playoffs. And if they keep losing like this, then maybe, just maybe, they'll get the number 1 overall pick. The San Francisco 49ers take on the Philadelphia Eagles. I am going with the Eagles here. This will probably clinch the playoffs for the Eagles, but probably won't clinch the NFC East, even though they currently lead the NFC East. So if they win, the Eagles could probably be the first team to repeat as a division champion in the NFC East for the first time in 20 years. So they've had a different division champion every year for the past 20 years. So if the Eagles win, I think they clinch the playoffs, but I'm not really sure what the circumstances are. So just because it's really, I think it's too close to call at this point. But I think the Eagles will be 11-1, and the 49ers, they'll be 8-4. So, I don't think the 49ers win this game over the Eagles, just because the Eagles are really good, and the 49ers, they're both good, but this is going to be a good game. For sure. But the Eagles are probably going to beat the 49ers here. The Cleveland Browns take on the Los Angeles Rams. I'm actually going to go with the Browns, even though they lost to Denver last week. I think they're going to beat the Rams here in SoFi, and I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a decent game. And the Browns, they'll be 8-4, and the Rams, they will be 5-7. So they're not really that good of a team, just because, I don't think the Rams are really that good, and neither are the Browns. But, I just think the Browns will be 8-4, and the Rams will be 5-7. But, yeah, I'm picking the Browns. The Kansas City Chiefs take on the Green Bay Packers. I'm going with the Chiefs here. The Packers really aren't that good. Even though they beat Detroit, I don't really think they're that good. So, but I am going with the Chiefs. Will be 9-3, and the Packers, they will be 5-7. So not really that good, unless the Packers win their next 5 games, which I don't really think they will. So, but I am going with the Chiefs over the Packers. This will put them at 9-3. The Packers, this will put them at 5-7. The Cincinnati Bengals take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm actually going with the Jags. If Joe Burrow were playing, this will be a better game than it was scheduled to be. But the Bengals really don't really have much of an identity this season, just because like Joe Burrow's gone and he's not coming back because he sprained his wrist. And then as for the Jaguars, they've been pretty good. They beat the Houston Texans last week, and I think they can pull it out again against the Bengals. So, I think the Jaguars, they'll be 9-3, and the Bengals will be 5-7. So really not that good, but all right, that's it for week 13. It's a very short week this week. 6 teams on bye weeks, and only 2 teams on bye weeks this next weekend, week 14. So I'll do a video regarding December in a little bit here. We'll see you guys in the next video for week 14. Bye-bye.